Hello there. Today I would like to talk about why not letting your kids do certain electronics and play video games can be bad for them. I'm going to start off by talking about my childhood. Growing up, I was raised by my grandmother. She grew up in a different time. A time where there were really no electronics or no video games or nothing like that. She had a certain stance against video games, and even, I guess you can say, superhero movies. But, as a kid, I would go to school. There'd be all the new memes at the time, from video games to things on YouTube, but I wouldn't understand them because I was not allowed to be on YouTube. I was not allowed to have video games or nothing like that, and I'd be extremely out of touch. Now, it sucked 100%, and there are those days that it's like, bro, if only I could have an iPod Touch or something like that, I could be in touch a little bit, And yeah, I begged my grandmother for a game system like an Xbox or PlayStation or an iPod. And eventually I did end up getting an iPod Touch 4th gen. But what was crazy about it is I got the 4th gen and the 5th gen came out. Okay, it's not the end of the world. It's still an iPod Touch. I remember going to school and pulling out the iPod Touch, and some people had their 5th gen. But it is what it is, I had an iPod. I was still very excited about it. It didn't matter that it wasn't the newest. It was still cool. And I was able to get online. I was able to go to YouTube, kind of catch up with some of the memes, I guess you could say. I could see the newest trending thing, and YouTube was a little bit different back then. I know some people remember when YouTube had their own thing on the iPods. That was very interesting. I think I came to YouTube right after the update where it was no longer all the way on the iPod. You had to download their own app. It wasn't already on there. So I came into YouTube in that kind of part or whatever. I did end up spending quite a bit of time on YouTube, but that's understandable, I guess, in my perspective, when you're taken back by how much stuff there is on there. And we did end up getting a Wii. No, the Wii was cool. Don't get me wrong, the Wii freaking amazing. But I would have still loved to have, the Xbox 360, PlayStation 2 or 3. And, sometimes, you can't afford it, or in my personal, stuff, my grandmother just did not like the video games, did not like none of it. Thought it was bad for and stuff like that. Now, I wouldn't say that video games are great for you as a child, but I wouldn't say they're terrible for you. I've seen different things, as in their 20s now, and has fully immersed myself, I guess, in the video game realm and Discord and Twitch and stuff like that. There are some cases where, okay, maybe they should take a step back from the video game, but there are also so many different relationships, friendships, whatever you want to call them, that people can make online. And I talked to some of our friends that grew up playing video games, grew up playing Call of Duty, Halo, all of those games, and they had, that when they were very younger. And I kind of got that when I was, 19, starting off, when I built my... It was before I built my first PC. I remember I had an Xbox that I bought with the money, I believe, when I worked at McDonald's, my first job. And I had a crappy laptop and a little capture thing that my friend gave me. And I just tried to record some YouTube videos, whatever. It wasn't great, but from shooting, I was able to, build some friendships and connect with other people and stuff like that. And, I'm not saying let your kids stream either. There should be regulations on that. But allowing your child to go on these video games, I think it's not a bad thing. Now, I do believe you should set certain timers for how long a child should be on video games. But, yes, make sure they get their outside time. Make sure, they're not spending all their time, because then you will have a problem. And I know I've heard so many, politicians, parents, whatever, talk about all these video games are running out children, whatever. Well, if the parent does not regulate it, then okay, that's on the parent. Okay, I don't think you can blame video games for a child, doing something bad. It's not always the video games. And kind of look at the video games you do allow them to play. If they're 5 or whatever, you don't want them playing, Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or anything like that. Let them play Minecraft. even Fortnite, it's not that bad. So, I mean, there's so many good and bad that people say, and I believe if you do not allow your child to really get into the realm of video games or online or, even cool math for kids, my grandmother wouldn't even allow me to do that. It sounds very odd, yes, but I mean, that's just kind of how I grew up. And I've seen what it does, and I've kind of seen why you should allow your child. And again, like nowadays, when children are going to school, they're like, okay, I guess take for COVID, for example. Kids had to be home, have Wi-Fi, and do all that stuff. Well, some people are like, I will not allow my child to have Wi-Fi. I know people like that in my personal life. Well, those kids are behind now because they were not allowed to have, the internet, and sometimes internet is not accessible for everyone, so that's understandable. But if you have it accessible to you and you just purposely not allow them to have it, you're doing a disservice to your child, in my opinion. And I would love to hear some opinions in the comments below. You don't have to agree with me. You can kind of, tell me your thoughts again. And if you think I am wrong on things, let me know. And yeah, I want to say also, this is my first video trying this. If you have any tips or want me to talk about anything else, just let me know in the comment. Thank y'all. Have a good afternoon.